I went to pick up my wife, but she was locked in a room with her ex. The door wouldn't open. I turned the handle once, twice, locked, from inside. Music thumped faintly through the walls of her friend's apartment, laughter, glasses clinking, a careless kind of joy that didn't know it was about to die. My wife's phone buzzed in my pocket. I'd grabbed it off the dashboard without thinking. Unknown caller. I let it ring. On the other side of the door, I heard a man laugh, low, familiar in a way that made my stomach tighten before my mind could catch up. I leaned closer, pressed my ear to the wood. A whisper, her voice, soft, controlled, not drunk, not playful, careful. That was when the world tilted. Not dramatically, not all at once, just enough to let the truth start leaking in. I texted her, "I'm outside." No response. I knocked, light at first, polite, nothing, then harder. The laughter stopped. Silence fell like a held breath. Footsteps, bare, unhurried. A man's shadow passed beneath the doorframe. I stepped back, suddenly aware of how calm my hands were, how steady my breathing had become. My body had decided something my heart hadn't caught up to yet. Whatever was behind that door, it wasn't an accident. She opened the door just enough for her face to appear, flushed, eyes too alert. She smiled like someone stepping into a lie they'd rehearsed but never believed they'd have to perform. "You're early," she said. I looked past her. The room was dim, one lamp on, the bed unmade, a jacket tossed over a chair. His jacket. I recognized it before I recognized him. Her ex stood by the window, hands in his pockets, watching me like I was an unexpected guest, not a husband. "Why was the door locked?" I asked. She hesitated, just a fraction. "Privacy." The word landed wrong, too clean, too rehearsed. I nodded. Behind my eyes, memories rearranged themselves. Late nights, changed passwords, the way she'd flinch when his name came up, then overcorrect with laughter. The way she'd said, "He means nothing to me," without ever being asked. I didn't raise my voice, didn't step forward. I simply looked at him. He smiled, a small one, confident, intimate. That was the betrayal. Not the locked door, not the room. The smile said this wasn't new. It said I was late to something that had been happening without me for a long time. "I'll wait outside," I said. She reached for my arm, missed. I walked away before my hands started shaking. I didn't confront her that night. I drove home alone, let the silence sit beside me, let it talk. At home, I poured a drink I didn't touch, sat in the dark, watched the clock tick forward like nothing had happened. When she came back, she was careful, overly gentle, the kind of kindness that hides guilt. I kissed her forehead, went to bed, and began. I checked phone records first, not messages, those were clean, too clean. But call durations don't lie, neither do stamps. Then emails, then shared calendars. Patterns emerged. Lunches that ran long, errands that aligned too neatly with his work schedule. I followed her once, parked a block away, watched them talk in his car like people with unfinished conversations. I took photos, not for anger, for accuracy. I requested copies of old files from our shared cloud account, found deleted drafts, unsaved notes, fragments of a double life she'd never meant to publish. At work, I stayed calm, efficient, smiling. At home, I listened more than I spoke. Every lie became easier to spot once I stopped needing the truth to be different. I scheduled a meeting with a lawyer, quietly, hypothetically. I didn't sleep much. I didn't need to. The confirmation came in a way that felt almost polite, a message forwarded to me by mistake. Not explicit, not graphic, just intimate enough to remove doubt. Last night felt like old times. I printed it, left it on the kitchen table. When she found it, she didn't scream. She didn't deny it. She sat down. "I was going to tell you," she said. I believed her, in the same way I believed people who said they were going to stop once they got caught. "Why him?" I asked. She cried then, said words like history and closure and confusion. I slid the folder across the table, Photos, logs, dates. Her hands shook as she flipped through them. I watched, not her face, her breathing. The moment it changed, that's when I knew she understood. This wasn't a fight, it was an ending. I didn't yell, I didn't threaten. I told her what I had already done. Accounts separated, assets secured. A timeline documented. I'd spoken to his partner, quietly, provided evidence, let her decide what to do with it. I stood up. She reached for me. I stepped back. This was never about him, I said. It was about you thinking I wouldn't see you. Her mouth opened, closed. I walked out with a single bag, left the rest behind, let the house echo with everything she'd destroyed. Time passed. The anger faded first, then the grief. What remained was clarity. I no longer wondered what I'd done wrong. I no longer replayed moments looking for a version of myself that deserved betrayal. Some people don't cheat because they're unhappy. They cheat because they're hollow. I learned to live without needing to be chosen by someone who never truly chose me. The locked door stopped haunting me eventually, because it wasn't a barrier, it was an exit, and I walked through it without looking back.